up, everybody? Welcome back to the Most Valuable Podcast. I am Mark Williams with my colleague
Victor Castro.
And we're just two dudes who do real estate for a living. And this is episode 50, and we got a really special guest, the one and only, the legendary. I got to pump you up, bro. Roland Osage. Thanks, Roland, for being here.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Really appreciate it. And if you guys don't know who Roland is, you probably do. You just maybe weren't paying attention to who was posting that video, but Roland has brought to the Bay Area, has brought more attention to the, what we call real estate, like home tour. You can catch him on TikTok at Roland Osage, one word, and then on Instagram at Roland_Osage. So make sure you're following him. We'll put all his links in the descriptions below. But we have Roland on here. We want to get into a little bit about the home tour, what brought him to doing that, how he got started, kind of that journey, right? Because now all I see is you posting, doing these seminars and talking on panels. I mean, I know you just had your second daughter, so congratulations, but you were getting flown out to do a Tom Ferry seminar. So we'll get into that. So Victor, why don't you start us off? Why don't we start
What's up, Roland?
interrogating Roland here?
Yeah, man. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, man.
We appreciate it. We obviously look up to you in the way that you do real estate, obviously first and foremost, and obviously social media as well. Mm-hmm. We follow your footsteps and everything. We learned a lot from you as well. So tell us a little bit about that backstory, all your backstory, and the changes leading up to where you're at right now.
So I think a good place to start would probably be like 2022, which is when we were running Envision, was something that took up like a lot of time for sure. And didn't pan out, just wasn't profitable enough for us to keep going, a lot of ups and downs with that business. So then like at that point, it was like, all right, I know I'm going to focus back on just full-time sales. We're just kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out when we were doing Envision.
And what was Envision? I know what it was, but to everyone listening.
That's a good point. Envision was a media company, marketing, videography, photography, drone, all that stuff for real estate agents specifically. And we did venture out into other businesses too, but the main hub was real estate agents because we knew that sector so well, of course, with being agents ourselves. But from there, it's like once that kind of ran its course, being so like in that kind of realm of like marketing and like media and then like trying to see what was going to work well for other agents, I just had like a really like keen eye on like what was working for others, what wasn't, what I wanted to do, what I didn't want to do. So from there, it was about 2023. So maybe Envision did end up like more beginning to mid 2023, I want to say. So November-ish of 2023 is when I did that first kind of style of home tour. That I had seen some other agents do just in different markets, but always kind of like putting my own spin on it, doing like things just a little bit differently, more my way. And then it was just kind of off to the races. Like from there, once I saw something that was incredibly effective and working really well, it just like tripled down on it.
So when you started doing the home tour, so I know you had a little bit of, you were already in the social media space, right? You had your Instagram, you had your TikTok. I know with Envision, you guys were, pushing the envelope, so to speak, on certain different type of listing videos. Yep. I would always notice you tried something different for each listing.
Very creative.
Yeah, very creative. So when you got into the home tours, what was kind of like that aha moment, that one video that you're like, oh damn, people do watch this stuff?
Yeah. So for me, the aha moment was I was like, I'm not highlighting like super interesting homes. That was pretty much it. I was reading Alex Hormozi's $100 Million Leads.
Yep.
And in that, he's like, every single business needs to have an undeniable offer. So that was really what sparked it. I was like, damn, I have no true offer. Like at that time, 2023 was when everything kind of like went to a halt.
Yeah.
End of 2022, so on and so forth. So lead generation was super slow. And I was like trying to figure out, I got to figure something out. It's either you buy shit or you make it happen, kind of on your own. Mm-hmm. So when I was reading that, I was like, damn, what is my undeniable offer? So then I came to the conclusion, I was like, it's like, I'm not highlighting nearly enough homes. And, if they were all my listings, that'd be great, but I need to highlight homes regardless. I think that's something that agents, it's hard for them to get over too, like reaching out to other agents, just like some people even have to do for open houses.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where like people are like, man, I don't want to reach out and like have to ask for help or like handouts. But for me, it was just like, yeah, I'm just going to find the most interesting homes that I think are like super cool and then throw them up.
And it fits your personality well because like you said, man, I mean, you're into that. You know, you got to be
passionate about it.
Yeah.
Because if you were to tell me,
in our group chats, I know they give you a hard time. They call Roland like the hippie of the
right? Long hair.
You definitely got that old soul, right?
Very artistic.
Thank you. So that was like the first thing. I remember I went to one house in Vallejo that was like, built in 1920s, just super interesting. And then like that first one I put up on TikTok, it hit. And I had seen other agents on TikTok in different markets that were doing really well with that same kind of style. It was more slowed down. It was a little bit longer. So I just went straight on it with TikTok, and then it got a ton of engagement. And anytime, something like that happens, you always want to just copy that, emulate whatever went.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned that one that like hit, like, had great analytics, like just trying to mimic that same exact thing. So that's exactly what I did basically.
So now you got the traction, this video hit, rinse and repeat, right? And you're kind of getting in the groove of the videos. Now, there's one thing we always say, there's one thing to like, that's how I feel in the real estate market. There's one thing to get likes. There's one thing to get clicks and likes and shares. And I feel like, there's a lot of agents that I feel almost that's more important to them than actually making money.
100%.
And that could just be a generational thing.
Yeah.
Being I don't like to. I know I'm not super old, but I am from like the Zennials, right? I'm 82, right? I'm a lot older than a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's like we do stuff that makes us money.
Yep.
Right. And
that's our focus.
I can care less about the clicks.
Yep.
But being more open-minded, talking to people like you, seeing the success you had, saying, okay, yeah, wait, you do need the clicks, you do need the engagement. But how did you figure out, okay, now I'm getting the engagement, how do I convert this?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because like for me, the biggest thing was like, oh shoot, I got the attention. So that to me, I think is like the hardest thing to really get out of everything, right? The conversion, we all know we convert in so many different ways. It's usually how it is, how it always has been with me is like, it wasn't an issue when I had the client, it was the issue getting the client.
Yeah.
So when I had the attention, it was like, okay, more of that. And then from there, it was really just setting up stuff that, I don't know, I felt was going to make sense. Like, for instance, I've seen some people's like buyer intake forms, just like a lead form. They're like freaking 30 questions. Yeah. And it's like, why are you going to make it harder to get that person to fill out the information?
Right.
Yeah.
So mine's 9 questions, exactly what you're going to be asked. Like I've seen others too, like with, I think it's like Google type forms or something where you have to keep clicking and it's one question at a time. And that's another one where it's like, man, someone's going to get to like question 15. They're like, screw this, man.
Yeah.
I'll go, you know what I mean? Like, I'll just go back on Zillow.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that works, really well. And then, I don't know, man. I don't think I can put a real science to it. I think that there's some people that get a crazy amount of engagement views too, but then they don't get those reach outs. So it's like, it's one of those things where I think it just comes down to, like you mentioned, like being passionate, like knowing what you're talking about, having some strategy behind it, and then just kind of caring right at the same time.
Yeah.
So
you find that those that are the conversion, those that are reaching out to you for you to either assist them in selling or buying, it's almost like you feel they connected with you, right? They would if they would have met you in another form, they would have been your client. This is just kind of outreaching to more people.
In a sense, I mean, to be honest, I've always sucked at open houses.
Okay.
I've always been horrible at open houses and converting at them.
Maybe, Roland, I think you just don't trust yourself because, I mean, just anyone would like you, bro. Like, you have that personality.
Yeah.
You're very outgoing and outspoken and like.
I appreciate that.
I don't understand.
It's probably just the passion. Like you said, it's like you have, as someone, I know this podcast is for Roland, but I always bet anybody you cannot open house me. Yeah. For 2 years, I did year 2 of real estate. I did 47 weekends of open houses. Damn. How many weeks are in a year? 53.
Yeah, that's commitment. That's what it comes down to, right?
Yeah. So I felt that was my, at that time, pre-pandemic. Yeah. That was my jam. Like, that's how I met people. I didn't have I had like 300 followers.
Yeah, it's
bro.
low cost. They're coming straight to you. Everything makes total sense. For me, I think you're exactly right. It was a mental thing.
Yeah.
It's like I knew I didn't
Mind
want to
block.
be there. I was always dreading it. I was always hating that I'm like, fuck, I gotta wait and then go do the open house. And then it's really, it's like when you got like, I remember I used to have football practice and you'd like, man, I hate the waiting game.
Yeah.
Of them being, practice. Like I'd always hate that in between, like something that takes up in the middle of your day. So it was always that mental block. And, it's like me never always wanting to be the low pressure person and not wanting to do the sign-ins, which is so incredibly important. It's the whole reason you're there. So yeah, it's just that like really me not wanting to be there, which will then relate into the business that you're running.
Yeah.
So always super spotty with open houses, not doing them in a consistent same place, which I think holds a lot of weight. When you keep seeing those same repeat people over and over again, they'll trust you more, So yeah, I think that's what it came down to. And I knew super early on, I was like, I don't want to build my business from open houses. I don't want to do cold calling. I don't want to do, expireds. Learned all that stuff really early on. When I would do that and like sit there or like door knocking, whatever it was, when I do it consistently, I'd be very like
miserable.
Ain't no way, miserable, and ain't no way that's gonna be the route it's gonna go. Or else I wouldn't be in the industry.
Yeah.
So the social media thing just made the most sense to me. And then like going back to like Envision and like even doing content for real estate before Envision and during and all that stuff, there was so much ineffective content that I did that worked well for some, didn't work well for me, trends and waves and things like that. And then eventually just found the one that really stuck.
Your niche.
Yeah.
So one common thing I'm getting here though is you actually tried stuff.
Hell yeah.
What worked for you is not what's going to work for someone else.
But you don't know unless you
exactly
try.
Yeah. And like ultimately what you enjoy.
Yeah.
Whatever's going to come down to what you enjoy. Like I would love to do more events. Like I know people that generate referral business from events, you know what I mean? Or like networking meetups or whatever it is. There's so much different shit where some people are just like, man, I found that this works incredibly well for me.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's all about trying a bunch of different stuff.
And then leaning into what you're getting the most traction from.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a big disconnect, not just in real estate, just in like any industry. It's everyone wants that like immediate satisfaction that when they don't get it,
immediate
it's like
results,
throw
right?
in the towel. Where you got to just keep throwing stuff at the wall until it sticks.
Tweak it, whatever. But there's going to be a point where you hit, you hit the jackpot.
Yep. And sometimes the algorithm, like once you hit that one viral, and it's like you stay consistent from there, it's gonna not let up.
Yeah.
Like I took like damn near almost 3 weeks off of TikTok, and then like the first 3, I come back and it's like a huge one.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
We're kind of feeling the same thing right now with
we're trying. So we definitely took your advice.
Yeah.
For those of you listening, if you follow us at the MVP Real Estate on all platforms, it's the same: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram at the MVP Real Estate. You notice that we started doing home tours as well, and it's because of this guy. He sent us a text message say, "Hey, why is this person doing home tours in your neighborhoods?"
We won't mention who it is.
And it's kind of like, and we were doing them, but we were doing more like a highlight one of the week. And then we just kind of said, no, man, we got to do them consistent.
Yeah.
So now we do literally every day. There's one.
Yeah.
It's every day. And we're trying to, we're working out. We're noticing some cities get better viewership than others. And then I would say, the engagement is better as far as like the length of the video, depending on the home. So it's really just like we've had a couple that I don't want to say gone viral, but have done pretty solid for us having such a small following on TikTok.
Yeah.
We just started pretty much,
Yeah.
essentially. We have 350, 380?
Yeah, but we went from like 20 followers to like 380 in like
in a week.
Yeah.
So
and that thing compounds quick. It's funny you guys brought that up. I totally forgot I even did that because I'll do the same thing with Matt a lot too. And it's purely from motivation.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
never
for
to
sure.
like dog. It's purely to be like, I know what you guys can do and it can be better than this. What I'm seeing. So yeah, I'm glad you guys got motivation from that. That's really cool.
So let's stay on that topic because now we're all everything's rainbows and unicorns and sugar coated. let's get on the flip side of things.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of which, that person you sent us for motivation.
Yeah.
Let's just say that person did a home tour. I'm gonna if you guys put 2 and 2 together if you're watching this. If you're not, like I said, this podcast is mainly for our listeners. So if you're someone that's selling a home, this is kind of what we do. Like, we want to market a home to attract you as a buyer, attract buyers for you, and they're either going to use us. When you do these home tours, so let's just put a little asterisk.
Mm-hmm.
Roland gives 100% credit to who the listing agent is. The person you hired to sell your home, if it wasn't Roland, he's letting you know, hey, this is this person who's the agent, this is their brokerage, this is their listing. So giving credit where credit's due.
Yep.
Right? Let's just say that person you sent us as motivation did one, and they didn't give credit to where credit's due, and they didn't even ask for permission.
Whoa.
And it kind of snowballed in kind of one of the cities we do a lot of business in, like that area.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen any backlash from. I have a good relationship out there, so we're good. But there is something that we've been noticing reaching out to these agents is get a lot of yeses.
Yeah.
But there are an occasional no.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to know what your thoughts are on maybe an agent that isn't willing to allow someone to do another agent outside of their brokerage or something like that to do a home tour.
And sometimes I don't even know if it's just outside the brokerage.
Yeah.
I think every person is so incredibly different. I think either there's a couple different factors. There's most common is it's an older agent that feels scarcity mindset, which was one of the things that was that was the business practice, right?
Yeah.
I'm not giving you my secrets, my information. That's kind of how things were. So I don't fault them for kind of still having that, but then they also think that, like, for instance, like that agent you mentioned, they're wanting to make it seem like it's their listing.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not a cool thing to do.
No, it's not.
Not good business.
Yeah. So then once like those agents do see that your style and you're like, oh man, this is super collaborative, this is super cool. Then they'll begin to trust you more. Just like the conversation we had before where that agent was, really cool about that, which most tend to be like that. Second variable is that it is a kind of insecure or scared seller. That's like, I'm really afraid of having my home be broken into. I don't want a sign in the yard. I don't want this. I don't want that. This is a very, very unique home. I don't want people just coming in here and taking videos. So that is something that can actually be factual that we just don't know of.
Yeah.
I'd say those would be the two most common things. Like, other than that, it's just an agent that doesn't maybe want their client. Third option could be they don't want their client to see it and see that there's somebody else marketing the home better than them. Same thing as scarcity mindset, right?
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
It makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, what's your thoughts on that, Victor?
No, I think with some of the responses that we have received from a couple of agents that have been in the game, to your point, and for a while, I kind of feel that, that vibe from them. It's like, hey, like, I can't take a risk here with being shown up. Mm-hmm. If they get a lot of views on their video versus my video, I'm not doing something right. Yeah, and I just can't risk it because I have my name, I got to take care of my name.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's interesting because now talking out loud about this, it's like, okay, well, if you're in that position, how do you get out of that position? Wouldn't it make sense to say, yeah, Roland, hey, I'll let you do it, but I noticed you killed, does this work for you? Yeah. And what are you doing? Do you mind if I ask? Why don't you step your game up? Right. Just getting stuck, the game will eventually pass you by. Yeah. If you got that scarcity mindset, you're going to get passed by eventually.
Exactly. I had one I posted recently in Berkeley that's doing really well on both TikTok and Instagram. She was like, it was appointment only. It was just that type of house. And usually I'm like, man, I don't have the time to sit there and then wait for you to get there, whatever the case is. But I just had a good gap in my day that day. And it ended up being super worth it. And then she was like, do you mind adding me as a collaborator? I'm like, sure, I don't care. Yeah. It doesn't matter to me. And just things like that. So she was super thankful. You know, she was like, just had nothing but positive, good words to say, you know, about like the videos she had seen and things like that. So I think it's a great opportunity to like build relationships too. And like the smarter agents will be like I had one dude, it ended up going pending super quick, so I didn't get around to posting it. But he was like, hey man, like I love that. I'd love to be in it. And I was like, well, yeah, let's figure something out. Let's try to make it work. So we did like something creative. I didn't get around to posting it because it went so quick. But I think the smarter agents will do that.
No,
the ones that are
we
just
get that
like,
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 70. I would say 75% to 80% of the agents that we reach out, they're saying, yeah, sure. Go ahead, do that. And then to your point, to the ones that you just did, he created, some really strong relationships with, they're like, don't even ask me anymore.
Yeah.
You can just go.
Yeah.
So
I think that's what our industry is leaning more towards now. Whereas before it was probably like, anything.
Do you think this will get into being in California? You think something like this will work its way into listing agreements?
I think it already kind of is.
I know they have something in there for like
they
marketing.
can opt in or opt out and things like that. But to be honest with you, on my listing agreements, I'm not like going over that certain aspect with them. I think at the end of the day, it's like a big part of my listing like offering is the fact of like the marketing exposure that I can get. That's so much different from other agents.
Yeah.
So they're already kind of leading with that, and they see the power in it. That's why some of them reach out.
Yeah.
It's why it's easier for me to convert with some of them. So it's not something I really need to like ask them or whatever the case is. But dude, if I wasn't, in that realm, I would hit up every single quote unquote real estate influencer, anybody that does anything, and be like, hey, love to have you come on by.
Yeah.
So it's kind of shocking how many don't do that, because if that's your goal is to like market as much as possible, I would pay people for that amount of reach.
Yeah, because couldn't you, building those relationships, at the end of the day, when you are hired to sell a property, right, the number one goal is to sell the property. That's kind of like where I get this confusion is, because we'll reach out. So just this last week, I filmed on Friday, and I text messaged, I reached out to 12 agents. I always do more than the 7, right?
Yeah.
So I did 12, and like instantly, like 5 got back to me. And it was 4 yeses and 1 no, right? But 5 got back to me. 1 got back to me like on the day while I was filming, and I told them I'll try to make it to film it if I could as an extra one. And then there was some that just didn't even get back to me.
Yeah, they don't even respond.
That just makes me think like, what if I'm a client trying to buy your home? What if I have the buyer and they can't make it and I want to go film? I want to showcase it.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason why your home's probably on the market for 60 days if you're not, it
or
blows
more.
my mind.
Well, it's
we've
crazy.
seen over 100 days on the market.
Yeah, and
they
that one
still
that
say
said
no.
Yeah, the one that said no was like day 30.
Wow.
And I'm like, don't you want a fresh set of eyes?
Yeah, make it.
I have a listing right now in San Leandro, and it's hard. Like,
Yeah.
it's a condo. It's not FHA. It's just kind of, dude, we've done the marketing. We did our videos. Like, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a great price.
Nothing you could do.
Do you want to go do a tour, bro?
Right?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
at this point, I don't even like.
And it's funny, dude. I've seen there's houses like there's one in Walnut Creek. There was an Eichler in Walnut Creek that I don't know, it was like maybe 50, 100,000 over what like one next door sold for 3 months prior.
San Miguel
neighborhood. Yeah. So that one, it's like should have sold.
Yeah.
It should have got, like 3 million views on both channels. Like, it was in SF Gate. It was in this. It was in that.
Oh, yeah. That's the one with the pool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I saw you post that video.
Yeah. Nothing.
I want to buy that house.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but it got nothing. It got one contingent offer with the sale on a home. And then they ended up going with like listing with another agent after that. So it's like sometimes it doesn't even matter. Like you can get with that agent got so lucky, like with what I did with her being able to put it in SF Gate and like, Dwell Magazine, all these different things still wasn't good enough.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it happens. It's like everything's out of control.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
3 million views.
Right.
Wow, bro.
Yeah.
Wow, we got to collab.
Hey, Roland, how much money did you make on that?
Right.
So yeah, let's get into that.
Yeah.
We don't have to get into like detailed numbers.
I'm
So
down to do whatever. It doesn't matter to me.
the 2 platforms, Instagram and TikTok, and I feel like it's it's like 2 political parties, right? Like you're either like Instagram or you like TikTok.
Yeah.
It's very rare that people like using both platforms.
Yeah.
And I would say we lean more towards the Instagram, and we still do.
Yep.
Because we get conversion from Instagram.
Yeah.
Like we have proof from Instagram, from our posts, people DMing us that turns into deals.
Yep.
And we don't have that yet from TikTok.
Yep.
And we realize that we have to get to a certain amount of followers to have some outreach, be able to like have things to click and to get stuff filled out and stuff. But from someone like in your standpoint, there's some benefits to maybe being more heavy on TikTok as far as like financially compared to Instagram.
Yeah.
We haven't made any money on any posts, but what I've seen is like we've helped some clients that they get revenue from TikTok, and it's pretty crazy.
I was helping an influencer, which didn't end up buying a home.
Mm-hmm.
He makes so much money off of
Really?
TikTok and Instagram and YouTube.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's like, bro. And like we watch the videos, I'm like, okay. I mean, it's in Spanish. He's funny, but it's like he's not that funny.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't doing nothing.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
Right? He just had a good
Just
following.
comedian.
Just a skit.
Yeah, like skits and
Just
stuff with his
skits.
mom and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're funny, but like I guess it's just like he appealed to some like a
certain
a
group of
million plus people
Yeah.
that followed.
Yeah.
So as someone that has that factored into your business, like a revenue source.
So TikTok, I'll make usually anywhere from like $3,000 to $4,000 a month just from TikTok. That's just TikTok paying directly. For Instagram, you don't really get paid from Instagram like that. But I've had brands reach out and done like certain like partnerships and things like that, which still is not like nothing too crazy. And honestly, it takes so much time sometimes working with them, and you're like
because they're corporate, right?
Yeah.
You have to send them.
You got to send them through like we need this change, we need this aspect ratio, like all this stuff. So I wasn't too much of a fan of that after I did a couple of those. And then you get hit up by like people like constantly. They're like, we think you'll align with our brand. It's like something totally far off, and I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do with that? You know what I mean? Like, how am I going to incorporate a house into that? I would love to start like collabing more with like design like brands and like things like that. I think it would be super cool because it could go really well with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean TikTok. I mean, for instance, let me just tell you like what happens.
Whatever you want to share, bro.
So I posted one. What was that? 3 days ago. That one's at 4 million views.
Oh.
So far, that video has made me $1,400. So the more, of course, the larger it is.
And that's something to put. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
But I think that's a great point to like put things in perspective, because if you're not just real estate, but if you're trying to build a following on TikTok or stuff, it takes numbers to make 4 million views is not easy to get.
Yeah.
And then, as of now, 1,400. Let's just say over the course of, and those videos keep generating, right?
They do for the most part, but let me just do like a simple one. So let's just say 56,000 views. $23.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
do you have to be at a certain
10,000 followers
to start making money?
and over a minute long videos?
So we got 9,700. Hey, we're gonna get there, bro.
You will.
We do get. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised the way things are going. Like as our followers build out, we'll start getting hundreds, thousands of views, right?
Yeah.
If we have videos that are getting 40,000 views with 300 people following us. Yeah.
And you guys do work more of a heavier relocation market.
Yeah.
That's one thing that like when it comes to YouTube, when it comes to TikTok, when it comes to like these people that are migrating more aggressively, it's a huge advantage.
Yeah.
The views may not be as crazy, but I think the leads could be a lot more fruitful.
Yeah.
More serious buyers and stuff like
And
that.
just a frequency, just amount of them.
Is there a reason why you don't go in? I know you have YouTube. Are you heavy on your shorts as well?
I am, but I've been after the last 3 weeks, I've been so like slacking off really the last like almost 2 months. So I just got to get tighten up my systems, do a little bit better. Probably VA would be super helpful.
Yeah.
To just copy off of like, have a little drive or something like that. So just always things that need to be tightened up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when it comes to let's just call it 3 platforms. You have a Google platform in like YouTube Shorts. Mm-hmm. You have Meta, which is IG, and then you have TikTok.
Facebook.
Oh, is Meta too, right?
I heard it's easier to monetize on Facebook.
I heard it's easier to monetize on Facebook.
I need to look into that.
It is. Like a lot of like, I'm big into like car YouTube. I just watch like car channels and stuff like that, and sport channels. But the car guys, like, I didn't even know they had Facebook, but when they go over their analytics, like, they make way more money on like Facebook video than they do like any other platform.
It's harder to get reach on Facebook.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird one.
Very
it's
weird.
A weird
one. Like on Instagram, I'll have 3,000 views or whatever, and then you go to Facebook on the same video, 50.
Right.
Like,
yeah, that's how YouTube Shorts was for me when I first started doing the home tours on there. But then it's the same thing. Like once it starts, likes the consistency, then it's like, okay, cool, push more and more. And then the long form is super hard to get engagement on.
So are you putting when you do, and you're pretty consistent with your home tours? Are you daily uploading still, like a daily video?
Yeah, it's anywhere from 6 to 7 per week on TikTok, and then usually about 1 to 2 a week on Instagram.
Oh, okay. Because I'm going to just ask them a question. So do you recommend? So we do 7. We've been doing 7 tours, 7 days, 7 tours.
Yep.
We've been doing
4 on TikTok,
and then the other 3
Instagram
we do
and YouTube.
Instagram and the YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
So we do get more traction on TikTok, of course. I think TikTok's algorithm just pushes it out more.
It's more local. It's more interest based, like better interest based. Where I think Instagram's is like can be all over the fucking place. Like you don't know what you're gonna get served there.
I feel we don't even like. So we do the same video on Instagram that we do on YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
I feel our YouTube Shorts is better than the Instagram.
Yeah. How's the YouTube Shorts doing?
Let me pull it up. Yeah. What do you think, Victor?
No, we've had subscribers. I think we have like.
We're up to like 50.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
But on Instagram, for whatever reason, we're putting everything on our team page. We're not collabing ourselves. We're not. I mean, I've started tagging us at least, so at least we can share to our, just remind ourselves, share on your story, maybe repost because now they have the feature.
Yeah.
But not the same traction.
I think you guys should start testing. Testing with your personal pages, potentially.
Gotcha.
Honestly, because you probably have the lowest following on MVP.
Yes, we do.
Right. So I think if your people engage with that more, it may push it more. And that's what all this is part of too. It's all testing.
So
we're trying to grow the MVP page on Instagram.
I get it. I would see why. Right. I understand why.
Just collabing.
If you collab, does it? That's the thing I don't know. Like if you collab, does it?
It does.
Does it affect?
So
I think it's so likely. Yes, if you collab, then your audience is going to see more. You're gonna get better engagement. And then most likely, what they're gonna do is follow the first post. So they'd probably most likely follow MVP, right? Because then you have this and 2 others, right? MVP Real Estate and 2 others, which is you guys. So they're gonna go the path of least resistance and probably follow MVP over you guys potentially.
Got you. So we can collab from MVP.
Yeah.
Look, see, guys, we practice what we preach. We're here to drop knowledge, and this is like I said, we're talking real estate topic. This is home tours, but if you're a listener and you do something else on your cooking channel or you're trying, like, this is all stuff you can apply. It all. The back end stuff is all the same.
Yeah.
It's just what the topic is, what the interest is, which will vary, right? So.
Yeah.
On YouTube, our YouTube Shorts, like for instance, I'll give you an example. Like we'll do a YouTube short of the tour and we'll get like 2,500 views on that. And then on Instagram, the same video gets like 1,000 views.
Yeah.
But we're not we're just posting it directly on like the MVP site.
So let me ask you this. Do you guys post any long form YouTube?
The podcast.
Just the podcast.
Just the
podcast. Or when we do like a listing, we'll put our listing videos on there too. Yep. But our podcast, we'll do shorts and long form. So we'll do the shorts linked, and then you can link it to the long form. But the long form is on there as well. Yeah.
You want my honest advice? I would take the podcast off on its totally own separate channel. Because if you were combining the home tours with educational content about your guys' areas you serve, I think that would bump up conversion a lot, especially if you're getting 2,500 views on shorts, which is really good. I think those would go hand in hand of people diving into your pages and going in. But because you guys your podcast is agent focused a good amount, the consumer may not find as much interest in that.
Got you.
Right. Whereas us as agents and people who may be interested in real and so on and so forth may be more interested in the podcast.
Gotcha.
So it's almost like segmenting to what the consumer wants.
It's funny that you mentioned that.
We get decent. In the last 28 days on our YouTube, we've had 15,104 views on our channel.
Super solid.
It's not terrible.
No,
not at all. So, that makes sense. Just segment. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's the whole like attention. Everything's so quick, right?
Yeah. So it's like they see at home tour, they go Brentwood, whatever it is, right? Concord. And then they're like, oh man, Victor just dropped a whole video about Brentwood,
Yeah.
Let me dive into that. It's where I'm going to be moving. And then it's like trust, building that trust, building this, building that. And then for where you guys, the segment that you guys really, I mean, I know you guys cover a good amount, but like the segment of where you at least want to be, where you live, all that stuff, building that trust and that like big muscle. Because I mean, I said this when I spoke at Sean and Anthony's thing, like somebody was like, what's your, what are you eyeing next? Like, what is your next thing? It's like, is YouTube. Like YouTube is 100% for the taking.
Yeah.
In a lot of different markets, but even better in the heavy relocation markets like your guys is in the communities where they're building new homes nonstop.
Yep.
And you have tons of new model home videos you can do and talk about all the spec plans.
We've done plenty. Yeah.
And then you can even get more detailed though. Like you can post up a horizontal home tour and go 10 minutes. Go 15 minutes inside of one of those things.
Yeah.
Go walk around the whole community. Go show everything.
Oh, this is how close it is to this store. Or the bar or whatever. Yeah, that's cool.
Hell yeah.
Actually, I did mention we need to take a train ride on BART and kind of show the commute and stuff like that. That would be cool. Maybe drive one day and
You'd be super honest, right? Brentwood, like, hey, if you're commuting to SF,
you better leave early.
2 hours. I'm gonna be super honest with you. You know what I mean? All that stuff.
You better leave early.
That would really hit.
Yeah.
And I guarantee, if you looked up YouTube in your market, probably not a single.
There's not much. I think we pop up a lot. Yeah, especially now that Google pulls from all the platforms on the search. When we've been doing like all these shorts and stuff, like they all pop up on the search engine for the videos of those, like the cities we've done it in. Because living in Oakley, like I've done tours in there. The last week I did like a whole neighborhood of new builds, like 2 new builds in there. Because they're great to film too. They get the model homes are professionally interior designers that not only stage but choose options that you can't even get, right? So they make the homes look amazing. Yeah. Hell yeah. So I mean, thanks, Roland, for sharing that. I mean, that's, like you said, like, it's trying things, bringing it back to, like, beginning. Trying things, seeing what works, and then what works, like, leaning in and seeing how you can make that more efficient. Yeah. So I know you mentioned you read Hormozi. So who are some of the people you like to read or maybe look up? I don't say look up to, but look up to as far as, like, how they operated their business. And things you pull from there.
That's a good one because I haven't been doing too much reading lately.
I know, me too. I got like 4 or 5 books that I ordered and they're just stacked there.
Bro, tell me about it. I like Simon Sinek. He's a good one. Start with why, things like that. He's got a decent podcast where he has like a little bit of everything on. Man, I'm trying to think of who else I've really liked. I'd have to go through my library. Yeah, honestly. There's a book, Tools of Titans, that's really cool. I want to say it's Tim Ferriss, if I'm not mistaken, which is basically like him interviewing a ton of different, successful people and their routines, which is a cool one. But I don't know, man. I've read so many. Yeah.
You think that's helped, like, in the evolution of Roland?
I think it's just like, in a sense, I think it's also just like always being like just hungry. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's like, I mean, people ask me like, I don't know, like how you like do all that. And it's like, I mean, it's all different types of work. it's funny. It's like when I was super slow, all I wanted to do is be busy. And then when you're super busy, you just kind of want to be
one more
slow.
time. Yeah.
And then it's like, being a single income household and, 2 daughters, like what the fuck else am I going to do?
Yeah. And that's something that I want to touch a little bit is you had that jump. So, me and Victor talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
Now, as real estate agents, like we take a second to step, and I think everyone in any profession, especially if you're self-employed, it's okay to like recognize your own success, because from year 1 of me being in real estate to year 8, and the consistency I built, I do say, I do pretty good, right? Still, in the grand scheme of things, still a little fly on the wall, but in reality, in the percentages, I can put top 1% on my email signature line, right?
Yeah.
And actually be somewhat truthful, right? But a lot of people now, we're at that point. It's like, okay, we're here. How do we get to there?
Yeah.
Like, and we know like where there is. It's in retrospect, like what Victor said, looking up to you is like, we use you as like a measuring stick as well, not in competition. I want to beat Roland, but okay, Roland made the jump from where we're at now to here.
Yeah.
So if I know maybe you can't like pinpoint exactly, but what are some things that maybe helped you get from here to now where you're at?
Yeah. I'd say like the biggest thing is really taking care of the clients. Right. So you're making sure doing your best so that client's going to continue to refer you, or definitely reach out when it's their time to make that next move or next investment. So that was a huge thing, repeat referral, clientele, sphere, whatever it is. Second thing I think would be social media. Third thing I think would be agent to agent referral. So those are like the 3 biggest pillars of my business.
Got you.
So being super consistent online. It's the same thing, like people who may not have been in touch with for a while, they're watching, right? And they're going to reach out even though I had a past relationship with them.
How if I may, sorry, how do you stay on top of mind with your past clients and stuff like that?
For me, it's just setting reminders for just like check-ins. Like I don't have anything on automation or anything like that, and this year I've done a very poor job of it, to be honest with you. But I still know that a lot of them are watching. Right. So that's even just me with my stuff. Like I'll get past clients all the time. They'll be like, dude, my boss like sends me your videos all the time. Or like so-and-so, like I had clients I was showing to on Friday, and they were like, dude, we don't even follow you on Instagram, but 2 of our friends just sent us your video. 2 totally different friends sent us your video on Instagram. Yeah. Which is, it's like things like that, right? Yeah. So it's like you're still, because of like, at least just in my case, the virality, it's like they're like, oh man, I know that dude. Yeah. So that's kind of one way I think that I've been leaning on.
Just be consistent on social media and having your past clients share that.
Yeah. But really it should be a personal touch.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And that's something I could outsource as me. Even if like worst case, if I didn't get the time to do it, we do a yearly event every December, which is something that's cool. Even if they don't show up, they know they're invited, and double text them like hoping that they show up. Which I get I'll do that every year. The last 2-3 years, I've done that with Christian and the KD team, Kayla, Indiana. So they play a heavy part in like organizing everything, which is super cool. And then we all like split the costs.
Oh wow! Yeah. Okay. That's nice.
So that's like a cool one. And then, the social media thing is great. So then you got people that like past lives that know you, and then you're staying top of mind that way. So it's easier for them to reach out. And then it's the totally random people that have just been watching you for a while that reach out. And then the agent to agent referral, I think I was super lucky with being really early on with Reel and building some of those relationships. And then still continuing just like you guys are doing, going to Rise every year, going and doing those networking things, super, super important, because those.
Yeah, I've gotten some agent to agent deals, and I've sent some as well.
Yeah, exactly. So having that, I think those are the 3 biggest things. And then partnering with my mom, which has been really helpful, is she murders open houses. She does really, really good at open houses. We always make it a point to do Twilight open houses every single listing. Maybe 1 or 2 that we'll miss out on, just depending on the area or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But inviting those neighbors, do about 200 flyers to every neighborhood, getting them to come to a Thursday or Friday night evening open house, is super important. And then, she does well, picks up the open houses as much as she can until she needs breaks, first, second weekend maybe.
Yeah.
And then we've kind of built like a little system of people to reach out to hold open houses, which has been nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice. So
Cool, man.
it's like, so you found out what worked, you leaned into it, and then it's like, okay, what can you do to not only stay consistent with those things, but take those to the next level? And it can be as something as simple as just staying consistent to bringing in someone else, your mom, who's also a great agent, but bringing her in to be able to handle the influx, right?
Yeah.
Because you can get all the influx, but if you can't handle it.
I'm still struggling. We have a full-time assistant and like a client care team that we pay per transaction, the client care team. And we're still not following up enough.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there's the same things. Like there's things we got to put in place and tighten up and not leave money on the table,
Yeah.
So I know you posted something the other day on Instagram, and I had messaged you like a comment about it. Yeah. And essentially, it kind of ties into what we're talking about. You helped an agent when you were at a productive level, but now this person, quote unquote, seen you grow.
Yeah.
Right? Which for me, if I want to use somebody, like I'll use an example. One of my best friends, his cousin is like the top veneer guy in the Bay Area, Dr. Soto. Mm-hmm. He's on Kevin Durant's veneers or whatever. Yeah. But I've seen him when he was the practice he's at. He was just like I don't want to say intern, but he was the resident dentist.
Yeah.
He bought that practice, and then he's turned into this like the top veneer guy.
Yeah.
I know if I want veneers, I'm going to go to him.
Right.
I'm not going to ask for a discount.
Yeah, he's too big now, man.
But I'm going to go to him because he's the best.
Exactly.
And it's like you said, this guy kind of didn't want to use you because you're too big now.
That was his excuse.
Okay.
I think talking to my lender, it was a very funny situation because I'll talk about it here. Because he probably, I don't know, maybe we'll see this. Who cares?
Who cares?
But anyways.
We're not big yet if you want to use us.
That's
basically,
such an excuse,
like,
though.
it was really bizarre because like I said in that story, I'm the most low pressure person.
Yeah.
If you're like, I don't want this home, I'm not going to come with this sales tactic to be like, oh, this is why you should keep this or this is this. It's like, if you're not feeling it, bro.
Same.
Good. Mm-hmm. It's all good. We'll plenty more to go find. So that's exactly how that situation was. He's like, but he started making up, which the lender and I kind of pretty quickly came to the conclusion was lies of why he needed to back out of the contract. Like he was saying like kind of some crazy stuff. Like, this is when like, what was this? 22 or 23 or something. He was an officer for a UC, and he said that like he had to protect the president. He had like strong orders, like just odd stuff.
He got cold feet.
He got cold feet,
and he couldn't just.
No matter what excuse it would have been,
I
would have been like, bro, it's all good.
It's all good.
I never wanted to force you to buy something if you're not ready to get there.
Yeah.
So I think because of all that and how that went down, that's probably why. But then again, like I always take, as a business owner, always take ownership, like 100%, even when it's really not my fault, which was I should have kept in touch with them.
Yeah.
I should have reached out. I should have been like, hey, man, I'm here if you need anything, blah, 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 blah. But I didn't have the bandwidth to do that. So it's like at the end of the day, could have been on me. And maybe that's why he felt like, hey, maybe he was too big because like I haven't heard from him in a while.
Yeah.
Which very well could have been his perspective and his mindset. Because I can never assume, what the real situation was.
Yeah.
I would like to think maybe he was a little embarrassed and didn't want to work
how to
with
tell
me
you.
after that, but
Yeah.
maybe the true reality is that like, hey man, after I backed out, I never heard from you much after that. I did circle back with him from time to time, but probably haven't been in touch with him in the last 9 months to a year. So ultimately, maybe I could put it on myself. But yeah, so then he decided to work with another agent, and that's the story.
It happens.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
it
happens
happens
to
to
everyone.
Yeah.
It's happened to us. I mean, I've seen ones where I followed up. They came to like a workshop I did, and I followed up regularly. Like if you're on if you guys ever see my office, I'm very organized digitally, but I have like this whiteboard. If you're on the whiteboard, you're getting a house within
nice.
That's like the people that are like, I know for a fact this is what you're trying to accomplish within a fast period of time. So I mean, I have couple people on my whiteboard where I'm following up like weekly, monthly, and then I see the video and they getting keys with another agent. And it's cool because you're not going to vibe with everybody.
Yeah.
And everyone knows a real estate agent. I never take anything personal.
Yeah.
I always say, and I message you this, like, if they're going to work with you, they're going to work with you.
Yeah.
And we're the same way. We're not pressure. We hope you find value in using us, right? All the things we provide. But if you, for whatever reason, you don't want me to help you, that's fine. I just think and it could be like I think it's more like a societal thing. Mm-hmm. It's just let me know.
Yeah.
Don't leave me out in the open or on red, right? Don't leave me on red. Just tell me, hey, Mark, I ain't vibing with you. Cool.
Yeah.
No, and you know what? Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, maybe I may come across as a little bit pushy, so to speak, but it's not that I'm trying to be pushy because it's happened to me. And I think more it's because I know their situation better than they do. Mm-hmm. And so I know that if they're not going to make the move and make the purchase on this particular home, they're probably not going to purchase a home.
Yeah.
So I try to be as clear as possible. Like, hey, if you don't make this move, then you're probably not going to end up buying a home for a while.
Yeah.
And then if they buy, they buy. If they don't, they don't, you know. But then they give me an excuse and they're like, oh, we're going to work with my cousin.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, right. Like,
yeah.
Whatever, you know, it's okay.
Yeah, I think for you, Victor, it's like a priority thing.
Yeah,
I think, you do help a lot of like Spanish speaking families, and like a cultural, like as someone that is not from a Spanish speaking family, and not from that culture, or like born and raised in America, and all I know is like American culture stuff, and American dream is the house and all this stuff, where it's like, I feel like the reason you nudge a little bit is more out of the right message from like your experience and your heart. Like, this is going to help your family in the future.
Yeah.
And culturally, we prioritize things differently.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
Quinceañeras and $100,000 trucks.
Yeah.
And instead of,
that's just the hard truth.
So I think for you in that aspect, they may think you're pushy, but it's coming from the right place.
Well, that, and then like you got to protect your time too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if you know that, like, man, I know that this person, unless I do this, and you got to end the relationship by being like stern, or you keep going and spending your time and all that stuff. Where it's the same thing with me. Which
is another reason why I love the buyer agreement now.
Yeah.
Because it's changed my whole process.
Yeah.
Now, like I meet with them before I go see homes, regardless, in person.
Nice.
And it's paid off because I set expectations, and I let them know, like, hey, like, there's a cost to this now, but you could potentially be on the hook to pay me.
Yeah.
My time costs money, you know? So if you're not ready to make that purchase, it's completely fine. Tell me right now.
Yep.
So one last question I have for you. Before we wrap this up and let you get back to your kids.
I might have another.
Okay. I'm good.
All right, cool. The influx, so making that leap, getting the attention, getting the influx of clientele, the follow up, right? Okay, that's always in it. I think I haven't talked to a real estate agent where follow up isn't an issue, just because it's just like you have in the type of the sales business we're in. You kind of have to be in the now, right? More than the later. But if you can find that balance, the later becomes the now, right? Whatever. So getting the influx, how do you have a process where, and this can go to anyone, not just real estate, where now you're getting the attention, you're getting the people reaching out. How do you filter that to know who you should prioritize?
Yeah.
You got to just get a ton of people DMing you like, how much is the house? I want to buy. I want to buy. I want to buy. I want to buy. Like, how do you know who's actually serious?
So I'd say Instagram is more like that than TikTok. TikTok, it's more it's serious.
Okay.
So with TikTok, they're gonna either fill out the lead form and it's gonna go into my CRM, and then they're gonna book a 15-minute intro call if they're pre-approved. Excuse me, if they're not pre-approved, they're gonna book a 15-minute intro call. If they are pre-approved, they're gonna go straight to a 30-minute buyer's guide call. Which is done on Zoom. The intro call is just done over the phone.
Yeah.
So those people are going to be a little bit more serious, and then it depends on their timelines, right? Some people are further out, some people aren't as much. Same thing there, where I'm definitely dropping the ball in regards to like personal touch points with them, but they also reached out for my videos, which I'm posting every single day.
Yeah.
So they know usually if they're a little further out, it's time to get back in touch with me. They have my number, they have my contact information, all that. So that's like conversion wise with that. Instagram, what I've been doing lately is just building my email list, because what I found with Instagram is they're just more looky-loo type of people. Like for whatever reason, it's just like they don't like commit as hard as the TikTok people do. That's just my opinion. I've seen some people who do really well from Instagram solely. But Instagram is picking up more and more, as much as I go on, and then really more so since the 3-minute videos have rolled out. It's allowed me to have that a little bit extra time.
Got you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I would agree with. I mean, I would say Instagram is a lot of tire kicking, so to speak.
It is.
I feel like the way we get business, I get more business on Instagram from like our welcome home videos. Like, oh, that's my friend.
That moment. Yeah.
Or that's my colleague.
Yeah.
Hey, we want to buy a house
That's
too.
funny. Yeah. Small world, right?
Yeah, type of thing. So that's where I think like we get the more direct message, but I do notice you do get a lot of people that just have like general questions.
Just give me the price.
Yeah.
Right. What's the price?
Yeah. What do you need? What are the
address.
requirements to buy a home? And then I let them know, hey, I can't just give them to you on a DM. We need to speak on a phone call.
So I think what we should do is mastermind around that.
Yeah.
I really think we should refine that process, because I know there's some better way to go about it.
100%.
If someone's reaching out, that's like the ticket. And I think if there's something that's not pushing them down that pipeline, it's some part of our broken process.
Yeah. We should definitely mastermind. I got an idea of what it is. I've seen some stuff where like I've messaged, let's just say it's AI and it's like automation on that stuff on Instagram. Because the AI is crazy. I had this dude reach out for like professionals that do like golf. So reason somehow I liked the video. It resonated with me about back pain and you're a professional and your golf.
Yeah.
And I liked the video, and for me liking, they reached out and we had like a whole long conversation. And like 2 days into it, I'm like, I'm talking to AI. This ain't the dude.
Yeah.
It just dawned like,
right. There's no way.
There's no way he's this like consistent and like. And it was pretty granular what it was like responding.
Yeah.
It had to be AI.
Yeah.
It was definitely AI. Because if it wasn't, the follow-up after I kind of went ghost would have been a little bit different. I noticed the follow-up was a little bit more generic.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, I've been talking to AI for like 3 days here.
I think if you're not going to have AI, then you literally have to have a VA in your DMs.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a buddy, Rick Lee, who does all his
own.
Rick. You guys know Rick? Yeah. He does all his own DMs, and he's doing like really well with the green screen content. And it's like, dude, I don't get it. I don't know how you do it, because I would be on my phone just constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly. I already have a hard time responding to DMs.
Yeah.
Like I have just messages that I haven't,
opened.
Of just friends and colleagues and stuff like that, where I'm just like, I'll get to it tomorrow.
Yeah.
One last question for you, Roland, before we let you go here. What is your, I would say, your near, mid, and future outlook in real estate, the way things are, coming together with the economy and everything? Just before we, end the podcast, what's your vision on that?
I think digital market presence really takes precedent. Honestly, I think, and I guess I'm talking like really further down the road. Like if we're talking 20, 30, 40 years, mailing is going to be something that's very not the norm. Once a lot of homes get passed down to the younger people, I don't think they're going to build trust from those mailers. I think they're going to, we spend so much time, hours and hours a day in our phones. I think that's where the trust is going to continue to be built. So I think that digital footprint is super, super important for the very long term. May not be now, may not be 10 years from now. I think some of those agents are still going to continue to do really well. I think nothing ultimately beats, building community like within your market. So you see those people that put on events and, are really consistent with those. I think they continue to win, like with homeowners. We see that a lot, like in the inner East Bay, Oakland, Berkeley markets, just those people that have that like belly to belly kind of interaction. So I think if you can, the future is tying the digital in with that, and then really, really like kind of like going in on that. I think it's incredibly easy for people to reach out from these home tours because video is taking so much precedent. over photos, just like these apps are pushing videos over photos now, and that whole thing happens so quick. You know, somebody could easily, when they see one of my videos or your guys' videos, they could easily hear the address that you said, go onto Zillow and look it up and look up the address, but they'd rather send you that DM.
Yeah.
Or they'd rather reach out and say, hey, that house you posted, because that's the easier thing. So it's almost like that's kind of what we're doing with the home tours, is like turning it into Zillow. If you can get that in front of them, the video and the audio, you know, component is so much more bingeable and intriguing than just going through photos on Zillow. Because even on Zillow, you got to find like that home, you know, but it's like with the videos, it's like giving it straight to you, giving all that information, giving you the price, the location, the this, the that. It's so much easier, you know, to build trust in that sense. So
Cool.
Yeah.
That makes
perfect sense.
so much sense. And you can apply it. And like I said, I know
You
you're
really
speaking
can.
on real estate, but I'm just thinking you can apply that to anything.
Yep.
Like if you're a local restaurant that just
Yeah.
opened in a certain city, like why aren't you doing like mixers and events to like promote your restaurant, and then on top of that having a digital footprint? I know that when I'm on like Instagram and I see, oh dang, they're opening up a dim sum spot in Brentwood. I saw it on Instagram, right? And that's why I went to it.
And you know what's funny too is forget, might have been Theo Vaughn podcast. He was interviewing Timothy Chalamet, and he said like, what's funny about social media now is that it's like the audience is determining what makes like the good content, right? Like rightfully so. But like people will go straight to the comments to see what the general consensus is of something
100%.
before the content itself, right?
Yeah.
Almost to get the truth, or like the, you know, okay, what are people saying about this? So it's the same thing, like what you said, like another business. If there's a business that has, you know, some restaurant that has 30,000 followers, like, oh man, this place must be popping, right? Like this place, obviously they get, you know, they look at all this content they got. Obviously people go there, they like it. You automatically trust it more versus that restaurant that has 30 followers and some shitty pics of their food, right? It's the same difference.
Yeah.
So yeah, you really can relate it to anything.
Yeah, that's
Cell phone pics.
That's dope. Cell phone even of the food.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Roland, thank you so much for, you know, taking the time to come today. We really appreciate it. It's a special episode for us. It's our 50th
Wild,
episode.
man. That's some consistency.
Yeah, we might need to take a break, bro.
I think you're going to. You're pretty soon.
yeah, I know. I'm joining you for baby number 2 just around the corner. So make sure you're following Roland on Instagram at Roland_Osage, and that's OSAGE, like the street in San Francisco. And then on TikTok at Roland Osage. And what's your YouTube?
I think it's the same thing. I might be like East Bay Living or something like that. But if you look up Roland
Just
Osage,
look up Roland
it'll come
Osage
up. Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow him. And like always, you can follow us at the MVP Real Estate. And we're going to be switching our podcast, so it might be on the Most Valuable Podcast on YouTube. stay tuned for that. But thank you again, Roland, so much. And to all of you guys, we look forward
To winning with you.